From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, a man charged with shooting a teenage girl in the head was scheduled to appear in Fairbanks Superior Court today, charged with 1 count of assault in the 3rd degree.
Edward Guinness appeared telephonically from Anchorage and the arraignment was pushed back. Guinness is not in custody and no bail is set, but he is ordered to appear in Fairbanks next week. According to the family, the victim, 19-year-old Teal Diaz, suffered life-altering injuries and can no longer care for herself. The charging documents are not public, and the district attorney has declined to comment on why Guinness is charged with assault 3, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. Family members say that's just not enough.
I think it should have been attempted murder, not a 3rd-degree assault. He didn't hit her with his fist. He shot her with a gun. I mean, he had to point at her in the face to shoot her right in between the eyebrows.
The Fairbanks City Council unanimously passed a last-minute resolution in support of bringing F-35s to Eielson. Mayor Eberhardt says the Air Force will be releasing its short list of bases that could house the aircraft this week. Eielson employs about 2,500 military personnel and has an annual economic effect of roughly $252 million for the interior, that according to the legislation. The mayor says housing the F-35s here would benefit everyone.
By getting the F-35s, it will even more help cement the future of Eielson and sort of tie into the mission of the F-16. So it'll bring more people, more economic input and money to our economy, and I think improve the strategic position for the whole country.
Last evening, a structure fire destroyed a Fairbanks home. The mobile home was attached, and its attached additions on Jade Street was reported by a resident around 8:00 p.m. Arrival at the residence, fire officials said the structure was completely engulfed in flames and fire teams were unable to enter the building. One person was inside the building at the time of the fire.
Wife was on the phone with her brother, who was actually at the residence when he said something of smoke and a smell, and he ended up just hanging up.
East Fire Department obtained assistance from both Fairbanks Fire Department and University Fire Department to distinguish the flames. However, fire officials told the news center the property is considered a complete loss.
Well, not much of anything. I mean, it's pretty much the whole backside of the mobile home side is, there's no walls, no roof, no nothing. The tip out section, well, it's just nothing but a burnt skeleton.
No injuries were reported, but the 66-year-old female owner of the home did lose 2 longtime family pets in the blaze.
She had a cat and she had a chocolate lab that both perished in the fire.
Although foul play isn't suspected, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Family members of the woman say they will be setting up a donation account because everything she owned was lost in the blaze.
Now, I mean, she's just at a loss of words. I mean, has been her ups and downs. You know, we're trying to kind of be there to kind of, help her out with, with the mental state of losing completely everything you have. I mean, the only thing she's got right now is her car and the clothes on her back.
Stephanie Woodard, News Center 11.
Most of the public testimony at last night's Fairbanks City Council meeting focused on the creation of a city day of service for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The resolution had widespread support among the audience, despite the fact that it falls short of creating an actual city holiday. According to the mayor who introduced the resolution, the original idea had been to create a full holiday, but the city was unable to negotiate that with the unions. Many in the crowd spoke passionately about why now is the time for the city to recognize Dr. King's cultural impact.
I would love and I am proud of where I come from, but I would hate to go somewhere else and talk to someone and be like, oh, you're from Fairbanks. Oh, they don't celebrate Dr. King in your city? Why not? And not being able to answer that will be the difficult part.
All right, when we come back, Alaska will become one of 6 testing locations for the Federal Aviation Administration's Drone Research Network.
And the man charged in the severe 3-car accident that left 1 man in critical condition was arraigned today. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
And welcome back. Earlier this month, we reported that Alaska will become one of 6 testing locations for the Federal Aviation Administration's Drone Research Network. News Center 11's Tyson Paris Hansen has more.
The University of Alaska Fairbanks has been testing unmanned aircraft systems, or drones, for about 13 years.
We have more unmanned aircraft experience than, as far as I know, any university in North America.
He says it's the main reason they were chosen to manage one of FAA's 6 new test sites. These locations will offer a variety of extreme conditions to test newly developed unmanned aircraft. The goal is to certify the quality of the new drones in the market. The director of the Pan-Pacific Test Range Complex says Alaska could see substantial benefits as businesses bring their drones to these test sites.
And so they'll be paying us, bringing people into the economy, and hopefully we'll see small services companies, even big companies, begin to set up here in the Fairbanks area. So we'll see a boost in a technology industry that we've not really hosted in this state before.
With newly certified unmanned aircraft, we could see significant changes across the country and in the sky.
Really, a lot of it's safety. So unmanned aircraft is excellent for work that is dull, dirty, or dangerous from a manned system.
The Pan-Pacific Test Range will be fully operational in less than 6 months. Tyson Paris Hansen, News Center 11.
A Fort Wainwright man has been arrested, charged with robbing a man at a local strip club. 24-year-old Gavin Gardine is accused of assaulting the man outside of Reflections. According to the victim, the men were assisting him with his truck when Gardine began to punch him and told the other man to go through his pockets. According to the court documents, the man claimed the assailants took his wallet, which contained almost $700, along with his phone. They were able to locate the suspects, but the men only had around $100 cash on them. The victim's phone was in their vehicle, along with the man's ID and social security card. A hearing is scheduled for next week.
A Fairbanks man charged in connection with a severe car crash has been arraigned on first-degree felony assault charges. 36-year-old Alan Lynott allegedly caused the accident after what witnesses at the scene described as deliberate running of a red light. His truck T-boned the vehicle of 36-year-old Wyatt Hurlbutt, leaving him with life-threatening injuries. Lynott was initially taken to the hospital where he attempted to flee but was quickly detained. According to witnesses at the scene, Lynott also attempted to steal a vehicle and flee, but he was stopped by the owners.
A North Pole man accused of breaking into his on-again, off-again girlfriend's home and assaulting her was also arraigned today in Fairbanks Superior Court. 23-year-old Cody Michael Stockton is charged with multiple felony counts after the incident earlier this month. He allegedly ransacked the woman's apartment and threatened and assaulted her. According to the woman, he also eventually choked her and stopped her from breathing. Trial in the case is scheduled for March.
A grand jury has indicted a Fairbanks man on felony theft charges after a string of vehicle robberies at UAF. 22-year-old Jared Zabriskie was arraigned today in Fairbanks Superior Court, accused of breaking into multiple vehicles over a period of 2 weeks. Police tracked down Zabriskie's SUV after one of the thefts was captured on a surveillance video in North Upper Dorm's lot. A vehicle similar to his is seen parked next to the victim's vehicle, and someone can be seen taking items and putting them into the other car. When officers searched Zabriskie's home, they found other items that had been reported stolen from cars on campus between late November and early December.
50 years ago, cigarettes danced their way into American homes, and a Surgeon General's report linking smoking to lung cancer was issued. In this week's Health Report, News Center 11's Monty Bowen looks at a new Surgeon General's report on the subject.
Surgeon General's report on smoking and health, released Friday, links smoking to 13 types of cancer, plus a host of other health problems.
Diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, colon cancer, liver cancer, as well as erectile dysfunction.
18% of adults in the U.S. smoke. The goal in public health is to reduce that to less than 10% in the next 10 years.
If you speak to smokers, 80% of them want to quit. The problem is it's very hard to quit because they're addicted.
Experts say higher prices and programs to help people quit smoking are proven strategies.
Policies like smoke-free laws are effective, but unfortunately only about half our population is actually protected by those laws.
The parent company of Philip Morris USA issued a statement in response agreeing cigarette smoking causes cancer and heart disease, adding there is no safe cigarette. Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
All right, so Joe is again busy waiting in the wings.
He's next, and he has a big announcement from one of, if not the best athlete in Alaska.
Oh, I'm curious about that. So find out that and more, including a new Nana Corner, next in sports.
Hello, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with your Tuesday Sports. It's Tuesday, and we will have the Nanook Corner. But first, we start with an announcement from arguably the best all-around athlete in the 49th state, and he goes to Monroe. Today, Roderick Scooter Bynum signed with Arizona Western College in Yuma, Arizona for baseball, as he was joined by his mother, Veronica, and surrounded by his fellow Rams. He'll be a Matador, and he'll be joining a program that had 3 All-Americans at the Division I JUCO level last year. 3 players are at 4-year schools from a year ago, and second-year head coach Dave Keene was drafted by the Rockies in 1993. Bynum has aspirations of making it to the big leagues. Bynum has a 3.3 GPA and plans to major in sports medicine. He's a stellar athlete that has excelled greatly in football and basketball. Despite interest from Division I and Division II schools for basketball, he went with his first love, baseball.
Well, I grew up playing baseball. I didn't really get too serious about basketball until I met my Monroe Catholic family. So I've always loved the game, and I'm glad I can pursue it in college. To me, they're the best JUCO in Arizona, and they play in the best conference, and I feel like I can make a difference in their program immediately, and I'll actually get a chance to make a difference in their program immediately. So.
It was a long and tough decision, but I am very proud. Academically and athletically, he's going to do well, and we know that because we're blessed.
It's not just your athletic exploits, it's more than that. And Scooter's always been that way. We're blessed to have a lot of kids here who understand that concept, and again, Scooter, really embodies it.
Today's Nanook Corner, we go to the rifle range. The Nanook rifle team improved to 9-0 over the weekend. One shooter had a career day. Here's more. The Nanook rifle team swept their competition over the weekend in their first home matches of 2014. On Monday, UAF defeated the Citadel 4-6-9-3 to 4-4-5-1. Senior Mike Louisa led the Nooks with a match-high 593 in air rifle. But on Saturday, the Nanooks got a boost in small bore in their win over Ohio State from Lordley Stanfield. Stanfield, a sophomore and Lathrop product, tied teammate Ryan Anderson for a match-high 588 in small bore. That was her career high, and the Nanooks shot 2-3-4-5 in small bore, which was a season high. Stanfield talks about contributing in a big way with a team that has standouts like Anderson and Tim Cherry.
Anytime somebody shoots really well, it's always that, well, I want to be the best, so I'm going to try and outshoot them. And regardless of who it is, I mean, we're shooting as a team, and that's what counts. So we're all pushing each other to do better.
UAF is number 2 in the nation at the moment, and head coach Dan Jordan believed his team could be one of the best in the country at this time.
We've been kind of on an upward trend throughout the year. I definitely didn't want him to peak too early and try to struggle to maintain that level all the way through the season. So it's kind of, working our way up, getting better and better as we go, getting some more confidence. I think when we go down to shoot against West Virginia in our conference championships, that's going to be a big one.
The Nanooks are 9-0 and can wrap up their regular season undefeated with a win at West Virginia on February 6th. The Patriot Rifle Conference Championships start on February 8th in Columbus, Ohio.
Nanook Corner, brought to you by Sports Medicine Fairbanks.
And the UAF ski team took their momentum from U.S. Nationals and came away with the team title over the weekend in Cable, Wisconsin. The Nanooks won the Telemark Distance Series, winning by 8 points over rival Northern Michigan. The men won 139-134 over the Wildcats after sophomore Michael Fehrenbach won the 10K Classic on Sunday. The women won 137-134 after leading day one on Saturday with 3 top 5 finishes. The Nanooks will now prepare for the conference title, the CCSA Championships, beginning February 8th in Ishpeming, Michigan. The Ice Dogs got the Wild off their back in a sense, winning their 3-game series against Wenatchee over the weekend. Now, Fairbanks will go on their Texas road trip for 2 series over the next 2 weeks before facing the Wild again for another 3-game series. But first things first, this weekend the Ice Dogs face Wichita Falls, a team they swept back in November. They also split 2 games with the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. The Ice Dogs are 29-12 and lead the Midwest Division by 10 points at 58 with 19 games remaining. For this team, they expect to put together full game performances for this road trip, coming off a tough series win against their rivals.
Saturday, I think we were just a little more confident coming off a win. We tightened it up in the D zone a little bit, and everyone was firing on all cylinders, so it was a good team win.
Get back on track, every night, every period. I think we got a little away from that the last road trip, so important games on the road here and making sure we can play all 60 minutes in all 4 games.
And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather, and we're talking again about mild temperatures continuing. Those warm temperatures are going to continue, in fact, above 30 degrees, maybe into the weekend. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Time to take a look at our photograph for tonight. This one's sent in by Gary Kahlberg. We've already had another photograph from him earlier, but this one had to share with you. A beautiful shot of the moon halo, as you can see here in the Fox area. And again, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Temperatures right now at the airport, 25 after a high of 36. The low last night, 3 degrees. Record high in 1961, record low in 1906. Sunrise and sunset, 5 hours and 53 minutes of daylight, a gain of 6 minutes from yesterday. And our satellite and radar, again, you can see a lot of moisture down south of the Alaska Range, and that's where it's going to stay. The Alaska Range blocking all the moisture from coming into the Fairbanks area. Again, on the satellite picture, looking at the clear skies there. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, fairly quiet for the most part. Some fog around the Juneau area, but after that, not a whole lot. Just mainly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. A few snowflakes falling around the Nome area. And up at Barrow, 6 degrees with some light snow there. Lower 48 weather. Big news tonight is a monster storm that's roaring up the East Coast, bringing heavy snow, blizzard conditions to Boston. A little rain over the Pacific Northwest and across the Central Plains, but on the satellite radar, you can see all this pink indicating where that snow is falling, and it's widespread. They could get 1.5 feet in the Boston area before it's all over. And the overall outlook is calling for, once again, the polar vortex to return, at least not too far away from the lower 48, which means the cold air once again will be screaming down across much of the northeastern sections of the country. And overall, the jet stream once again pulling all that cold air in from the south, from the north to the south and across much of the country. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like. Over the northern sections, flurries expected at Barrow, snow showers for Nome and Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at mainly cloudy skies, continue very mild. Those winds you've had at Delta Junction and Healy should be dying down tonight and not nearly as gusty as they were today. Over the southeastern sections, rain diminishing for Juneau. Showers will continue at Ketchikan, while over to the southwest, we're looking at rain and snow at Cold Bay, snowy in Bethel, and rainy for Kodiak. And over south central regions, heavy rain in Valdez, rain and snow at Anchorage, and showers for Homer. Okay, once again, time for our kids' weather. This week, talking with the kids from Anderson Elementary School. Here's a young lady with a picture.
And this is my weather picture. These are clouds. It's snowing. This is wind. This is the snowman. This is me. And I drew it because I liked the way the weather is in Alaska. And I like the way it snows.
And tomorrow night, another young lady will be here with a weather question for me. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Looking at 12 degrees, continuing very mild, mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow's forecast, you guessed it, more above normal temperatures and cloudy skies, 26 degrees. And the extended forecast, maybe some light snow shower activity on Thursday, then cloudy skies right on through Sunday with the next chance for snow on Monday. But temperatures will continue way above normal for this time of year, like the normal high is 1 above, and we were looking at mid-20s all the way across the board. Overnight lows also way above normal, like 17 below the normal low, and we're looking at temperatures in the 20s to teens above zero. So strange weather continues.
I just speechless on that.
I can tell that, yeah.
Yeah. But it does sound weird that it's polar vortex again down there, but again, extreme highs for us.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Somebody suffers and somebody enjoys the weather, and we're enjoying it. And they're suffering on the East Coast. Yeah.
So, but is this like a new trend? I mean, what is the deal with this?
It's just cycles. We're going through cycles is what it is.
Okay.
This winter has been awesome.
Yeah.
Remember last winter.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mike. And that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Yeah, Joe, I haven't seen you wearing that ski mask much around here in those big black bunny boots. All right, tonight on NBC Nightly News, team coverage of a big storm bearing down on more than 50 million Americans. That's coming up next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at Webster11.com.
That will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Those roads are getting slick out there because of the warm temperatures, so drive carefully, and we'll see you back here again at 11.